Hello and welcome to Thomas Geiger Car. Today with the most interesting Audi since ages, the new Q6. Okay, it's still a prototype and it will hit the roads early next year, but we're already allowed to drive the car that is based on a brand new platform and that should bring Audi back into the race with Mercedes, BMW, with Tesla and all the new Chinese competitors. So if you want to know what to expect from that vehicle, join me in my first test drive and I'll tell you all about it. Before we sit behind the wheel, let's just take a closer look at size and shape of the vehicle. It might be a breakthrough model for Audi when it comes to technology because it's the new PPE platform, premium platform electric in co-development with Porsche. But as it comes to the form language, it's just an evolution. We have a size of roughly 4.80 meters, a wheelbase of roughly 3 meters with very short overhangs, meaning lots of room on the rear seat, lots of room in the trunk, and for the first time ever, a big frunk in the front as well. But the shape is very familiar. We have the single frame grille that is inverted like with every e-tron model. We have, since it is a quattro, the wheel arches very well sculptured. We have a beautiful, powerful stance, and we have a shape that just fits into the brand's history. That is not a revolution. People are not shocked. They're just carried along and welcoming this design. And if we look a little bit closer, we find some new stuff as well. We have an active digital light signature in the new headlamps. Roughly 60 LED parts that can individually be programmed by the driver. So there are different setups for the light signature and you can choose it while switching on the MMI and later on even on your smartphone. For the beginning there are certain setups, but Audi has already promised they will update that frequently so you can give your car a new look. And it's not only at the front. If we take a look at the rear lights, we see the next generation of OLED technology. Audi was the first to bring this special organic LED technology into the cars, and they have brought the next generation now. Brighter and more flexible and dynamic for the first time ever. Again, lots of clusters that are changing their shape, and not changing their shape, but changing their brightness and a bit of their color scheme, giving the designers the chance to communicate with the other cars and with the other people on the road. So it's not only an optical and an aesthetical function, no, it's also functional towards the other drivers. So if you see a hazardous situation, there will be a triangle warning the people behind you. If the car driving autonomous, for example, on the parking ground, there will be a symbolized A to say, okay, autonomous artificial intelligence at work. And if you open the door, there also will be a warning sign that you don't catch a biker that is overtaking your car. So overall, familiar shape, familiar size, brand new details, and a bright future with new lights ahead. A few months ahead of the world premiere, Audi is a bit tight-lipped when it comes to specific specifications. They're not telling which lineup they will have, they're not telling the exact figures of the car, they still want to keep some surprises until the final reveal. But what is clear already, it is two derivatives at least for the start. A Q6 55 Quattro with two motors totaling to 295 kilowatts, or an SQ6 Quattro again with two motors and 380 kilowatts. Torque is above 500 Newton meters for the small one and 800 Newton meters for the more powerful derivative. That translates to acceleration figures on a sports car level. 0 to 100 for the Q6 55 is below 6 seconds, and for the SQ6 below 4.5 seconds. Top speed should be above 180, and I assume 200 kilometers is the least they should offer. The power for that, all that comes from a brand new battery, finally with an 800 volts architecture, meaning quicker and faster charging. 270 kilowatts is the peak charging power, transferring to 10 minutes for 250 kilometers. The most efficient derivative for the starting lineup will give you a range of about 600 kilometers. And Audi has done quite a bit of detailing work and put lots of their experience into thermal management, into battery management, into the standard heat pump to get you as close as possible to the official WLTP figures. The powertrain is the one side of the story. The other side is the architecture, the suspension, the steering, the setup of the car. While the MEB models give you a bit of a decoupled feeling and you're just a passenger even behind the wheel, Audi has done quite a lot of work to make you master of the game. Again, you have different setups, you have different driving profiles, you have different recuperation modes, you have a steel or an air suspension, and all that is centered around the driver. So you can really feel what you're doing, you're well engaged, and it's not about getting from A to B, but it's getting from A to B with lots of fun and with an occasional grin on your face. As you can see, there is not much to see yet because Audi is making lots of miracles about the cockpit. Everything is still covered. That might have two reasons. The one thing is there is a big design step that should be a surprise for the reveal. And the other reason is there have been some tiny software issues in the Volkswagen Group in the recent years. The reason why Herbert Diess left his position as a group CEO and the reason why the car is running a little late is basically due to the fully new electric architecture. And Audi wanted to make 100% sure that there is nothing that worries the customer or the test driver. So the reason for that is everything is covered. But we can already see a huge display behind the steering wheel. We can see a new shape of the steering wheel. We can see sensor buttons on the steering wheel, and we can see that the gear lever is still on the center console and not behind the steering wheel as we have it at certain Porsche or Volkswagen models. The rest is all a surprise, and just stay tuned and you will see it when they reveal it. Thanks for joining me on that first test drive with the Q6 prototype. Definitely the most interesting car out of Ingolstadt since years. It might look familiar and it drives like you expect it from an Audi, but it offers a brand new future, brand new technologies, and it brings Audi back into the race. Vorsprung durch Technik, for that it took a bit too long. But at least they are eye to eye with the competition and the race for the best EV is on again. Thank you, Shishye, Saitien, and goodbye.